Sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
I'm Eric Njoka and you are watching Wild of Africa on WION World is One. This week, tension remains high in Juba, South Sudan, after President Salva Kiir's government preferred treason, murder and crimes against humanity charges against the country's first vice president, Riek Machar. We'll talk about that shortly. Welcome to the show. Ethiopia officially inaugurated the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, Africa's largest hydroelectric project, and a $5 billion milestone that could transform the continent's energy landscape. Built on the Blue Nile, the mega dam is set to generate over 6,000 megawatts of electricity, doubling Ethiopia's current output and turning the nation into a major power exporter. Yet, for downstream nations Egypt and Sudan, it raises fears of water scarcity and potential conflict over Nile resources. Will Ethiopia's mega dam become a symbol of shared prosperity or a flashpoint for regional tensions? Here is our cover report.
With great fanfare, Ethiopia inaugurated its controversial mega dam on the Blue Nile. The biggest hydroelectric dam in Africa, but one that's divided the region and even caught the attention of President Trump. Heads of state and dignitaries were at the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, for the official opening. For Ethiopia, the unveiling of the 74 billion cubic meter dam, which has been 14 years in the making and cost $5 billion, was a culmination of a dream and proved the East African nation the winner in a bitter diplomatic battle over its construction.
ለታችኛው ተፋሰስ አገራት ወንድሞቻችን To our brotherly downstream countries, Ethiopia built the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam to bring prosperity, light up the region, and change the history of black people, not to harm any of our neighbors. To our brothers who may have concerns, I assure you that Ethiopia will never take away your rightful share. Today, I make this promise before my people. The hunger of our brothers in Egypt, in Sudan, or anywhere else is also our hunger. We must share and grow together, for we have no intention of harming anyone.
The 476-foot-high, 1.2-mile-long dam will more than double Ethiopia's electricity capacity to 5,000 megawatts. Almost half of Ethiopia's 130 million people lack access to electricity, and even the capital Addis Ababa experiences regular blackouts. Neighboring Egypt, however, views it as nothing less than a disaster. The dam is situated on the Blue Nile, a tributary of the Nile, at Ethiopia's border with another neighbor, Sudan. Egypt worries the dam could restrict the flow of water into the desert country, leading to shortages as it depends on the Nile for 97% of its water. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called the dam an existential threat and said last month whoever thinks Egypt will turn a blind eye to its water rights is mistaken.
The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is not merely a national project. It is a Pan-African statement. It exemplifies the scale and ambition of African-led infrastructure and aligns with Africa Union's vision of continental energy connectivity. Despite Africa's vast renewable resources, the continent accounts for only 6% of global energy use, while nearly half of Africans, over 600 million people, still lack access to electricity.
Egypt lobbied for the dam to be denied international financing, so Ethiopia paid for the project itself through its central bank and public bond sales. Attempts at mediation, including by President Trump in 2019 during his first term, had failed. Trump caused ire in Ethiopia at the time by suggesting Egypt wouldn't stop at anything to get rid of the dam. After failing to broker a deal, he halted aid to Ethiopia and predicted Egypt would end up blowing up the dam. For Ethiopians, they are not concerned of the tensions. They are elated at the prospect that the project could unite them.
We built our Renaissance Dam, dismantling all the stumbling blocks and emphasizing our unity. They were telling us we are not allowed to build it, but we did it. We built it and inaugurated it. This is a major achievement for us.
When we Ethiopians rise up in unity, no challenge and pressure can stop us. With our own finances, with our own labor, sweat, and blood, we marched forward and built it, finished it, and inaugurated it.
The Gerd, Africa's largest hydroelectric dam, has been a symbol of national self-reliance for Ethiopia, despite ongoing disputes with downstream neighbors Egypt and Sudan over water security concerns. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
South Sudan's first Vice President Riek Machar has been charged with murder, treason and crimes against humanity in a move that some fear could reignite the country's civil war. Here's a detailed report from Juba.
South Sudan's first vice president, Riek Machar, has been charged with murder, treason and crimes against humanity for his alleged involvement in attacks by an ethnic militia against federal forces in March. which killed 250 soldiers and a general. Machar's spokesperson has condemned the move as a political witch hunt. The roads leading to Machar's house in the capital, Juba, have been blocked by tanks and soldiers. Forces loyal to Machar fought a 5-year civil war against those backing President Salva Kiir until a 2018 peace deal, ending the fighting in the world's newest country. Machar has been under house arrest since March, with the UN, African Union and neighboring countries all calling for calm.
Evidence further suggests, actually reveals, that the White Army operated under the command and influence of certain leaders of the Sudan's People Liberation Movement Army in Opposition, SPLM-AIO, including Dr. Riek Machar through a coordinated military and political structures.
The 2018 peace deal ended the conflict that had killed nearly 400,000 people. However, the relationship between Machar and Kiir has become increasingly strained amid ethnic tensions and sporadic violence. 7 others have been charged alongside Machar, including Petroleum Minister Puat Kang Chol and Army Deputy Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Gabriel Duop Lam. They are all Machar allies who were arrested at the same time as him and have also been in detention ever since. Another 13 suspects remain at large. Machar and Chol have also been suspended from their government roles. Machar's spokesperson Puk Bot Balwang said the whole crisis had been fabricated by Kiir's allies and was designed to dismantle the peace agreement. He further said that South Sudan's judicial system was not independent, operating instead as politically directed courts. The March attack was carried out by the White Army militia, largely made up of fighters from the Nuer ethnic group, the same as Machar, longtime rivals of Kiir's Dinka community. The White Army overran an army base in the northeastern town of Nasir. A UN helicopter also came under fire, leading to the death of its pilot. Machar has not commented on the allegation that he was behind the attack. South Sudan gained its independence from Sudan in 2011 following decades of conflict which devastated the country. But within 2 years, civil war broke out. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Ghanaians were divided to President John Dramani Mahama's decision to accept West African deportees from the United States, with some praising it as Pan-African solidarity, while others voiced economic concerns. Ghana's foreign minister defended the country's decision to accept a limited number of West African nationals deported from the United States, framing the move as humanitarian, while emphasizing it was not an endorsement of U.S. immigration policies. Here's a report from Accra.
Ghana is accepting West Africans deported from the United States. President John Dramani Mahama said Ghana had agreed to welcome an unspecified number of deportees after Washington asked it to take in third-party nationals.
We were approached by the U.S. to accept third-party nationals who were being removed from the U.S. And we agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable because all our fellow West Africans don't need a visa to come to our country. So if they decided to travel from U.S. to Accra, they don't need a visa anyway. So if you're bringing our colleague West Africans back, that's okay. And so I think that agreement has been activated, and a first batch of 14 nationals came. Several of them were our Nigerian brothers. They opted to go back home.
Of course, about the conditions that will be
This decision is not an endorsement of President Donald Trump's immigration policy, and the country is not receiving anything in return, according to the foreign minister.
To accept the limited number of West African nationals deported from the United States.
The deportees will be vetted by Ghana to ensure that hardened criminals do not enter the country. The deportations are part of Trump's strategy to send migrants to third countries to speed their removal and pressure illegal migrants in the U.S. to leave. However, a U.S. judge said it appeared the Trump administration had intentionally circumvented immigration laws with its deportations to Ghana. Ghanaians are divided on President Mahama's decision to accept the deportees, with some praising it as Pan-African solidarity while others voiced economic concerns. Supporters likened the move to Ghana's historical role in Pan-Africanism, referring to the country's first president, Kwame Nkrumah. Some are of the view that the deportees could potentially contribute to Ghana's economy with skills acquired abroad.
Ghana, this is the genesis of Pan-African. Nkrumah did everything. So it's a good idea to have them. Just that we have some consequences, some prices to pay, and that is normal. But to receive West African nationals in Ghana is a good idea.
Critics, however, raised concerns about increased job competition and possible rise in crime rates. Both teachers and students at local institutions debated the policy's implications, weighing potential economic benefits against integration challenges as Ghana prepares to receive more deportees.
The idea of our President John Dramani Mahama receiving these deportees, on the contrary, is going to be a big headache to the Ghanaian economy, because we do not know who these people are and what they are up to in America that they will be deported to here. So for me, I strongly disagree with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and I don't want them to come. Everyone should go to their various countries in order to start to rebuild their future.
Receiving all those people, it can be tough for him, and I don't think so. If it can it can be easy, it can be the piece of cake to give to all those people the jobs. So for that, I can say our president, I can say John Mahama, should think about all those problems without receiving them.
Opposition lawmakers called for the agreement with the US to be suspended and said it should have been approved by Parliament. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Nigeria hosted the 2025 Albinism Advocacy Pageant, an event dedicated to celebrating beauty, diversity, and breaking long-standing stigmas around albinism. The contestants from across the country stood tall in glittering outfits and competed in fashion, talent, and advocacy segments.
The new face is contestant number 3!
This was a one-of-a-kind event in Lagos. Nigeria hosted the 2025 Albinism Advocacy Pageant, dedicated to celebrating beauty, diversity, and breaking long-standing stigmas around albinism. The contestants from across the country stood tall in glittering outfits and competed in fashion, talent, and advocacy segments.
When people think of pageantry, they think of people who look a certain way. But for us, right, we are flipping the script and using pageantry to showcase the talent of people with albinism and also advocate for them as a way of saying, oh, these people deserve the spotlight and you've been discriminating against them for too long.
Albinism, a genetic condition that affects the skin, hair, and eyes, remains highly misunderstood across Nigeria. Cultural myths and superstitions have long fueled prejudice, with some people excluded from schools, job opportunities, and even social gatherings. In some parts of Africa, individuals with albinism have been subjected to violence and harmful practices.
Events like this is extremely important for to raise awareness for persons with albinism in Nigeria. Number one, for persons with albinism themselves and for the general public. Persons with albinism have various challenges, right? From the sun to the low vision, and a lot of persons with albinism don't even know how to go about this. And even to the general society, the myth, the bullying, the stereotyping, and all that.
Attendees admitted that pageants like this is a step toward breaking stereotypes and promoting acceptance. The newly crowned queen pledged to use her role to push for greater public understanding of albinism.
I feel so excited. I never saw this coming. I feel so excited. My first priority is to create an engaging content that we bring the strength and show the strength and impact, positive impact of persons with albinism in our society.
Nigeria's pageant industry has long celebrated conventional ideals of beauty, but the crowning of an albinism advocacy queen may just signal a shift toward broader representation. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Kopano Mokele, a fitness coach and owner of the anti-diet weight loss community, has taken an unconventional approach to understanding his clients' struggles, intentionally gaining weight to walk in their shoes and better connect with them. Here is his story.
As spring blooms in South Africa and people rush to sculpt their summer bodies, walking among them in a park in Johannesburg is online fitness coach and content creator Kopano Mokele, who has undertaken a deliberate effort to gain 30 kilograms in 120 days and planning to lose it all again by November in a bold move to better empathize with his clients. Documenting his journey on TikTok, Mokele shares daily moments of eating burgers, drinking soda, indulging in alcohol. His clothes no longer fit, and he is struggling to breathe. All this to provide his followers with an unfiltered glimpse into the physical and emotional challenges of gaining weight. Mokele explained that his initiative stemmed from frustration over clients hitting a plateau in their fitness journeys where progress stalls, resulting in little to no motivation. Since beginning this personal challenge, however, he has realized that overcoming obesity is far more complex than simply getting off the couch, counting calories, and hitting the gym.
When I was a coach before this experience, I thought, cool, they're not disciplined, they're making excuses, they're not that serious. But now, when I went through that transition of losing the weight, now I understand food addiction is a real thing. I found myself many times where I'm not hungry, but I want to nibble on something.
Medical expert Dr. Tracy Nelwamondo warns of the serious health risks Mokele faces, including high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and liver issues, highlighting the unpredictable timeline of obesity-related complications and the essential need for professional support in weight management. According to the World Health Organization's New Non-Communicable Diseases Estimate on Obesity, published in 2024, South Africa had the highest proportion of obese adults in the African region in 2022, with 30.8% of adults affected. Dr. Nelwamondo voiced her apprehensions on Mokele's experiment.
We actually don't know the extent of how long it takes for your body to actually be compromised or your organ systems to be compromised from a condition. We don't know whether it's because it differs from person to person. Somebody might have strain on their liver in terms of like having fatty liver deposits or fatty cells being deposited in the liver. Somebody might take a month, some people might take 10 years, some people however long it takes.
I knew the risk. That is why even towards the end where I couldn't breathe, I still had the 5 kgs that I need to gain for me to hit my 30 kg goal. I knew that if I push a little bit harder, I'm exposing myself to more risk. I did I'll not say catch, but I did develop a high cholesterol during this journey. I did develop high blood pressure. I did get some markers of something about my liver. Something was wrong with my liver. So those concerns, they actually did happen.
Through his honest posts and personal reflections, Mokele aims to bridge the empathy gap with his clients, demonstrating the true complexities of both weight gain and weight loss from a first-hand perspective, in an attempt to enhance his ability to better guide others along their fitness journeys. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi has broken the world record for cooking the largest ever pot of jollof rice in Lagos. Guinness World Records confirmed the achievement on social media, saying Bassi's concoction of the popular West African dish weighed in at a staggering 8,780 kilograms. Ms. Bassi celebrated the triumph by thanking her team and supporters.
The giants of Africa, and jollof rice is a discourse that has been happening, within so many African countries. And sometimes if you go to random countries, you find someone and say you're Nigerian, the first thing they ask you is about jollof rice, right? So I figured, as the giants of Africa, it only makes sense that we are the ones that pioneer making the largest pot of Nigerian jollof rice.
Jollof rice, though I haven't tasted other countries, but I can tell you for a fact that Nigeria is the best because we have those spices, like the spices, the atarodo, the tomatoes, like Nigerians are extra, so we go the extra way to make our meals taste good.
And that's all the buzz in Africa this week. Get in touch with us on all our social media platforms and our website and share your story from the continent with us. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Eric Njoka. Thank you for watching this week's episode of World of Africa on WION World is One. It's goodbye from me.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is streamed